Okay, welcome everyone to True Ball Banter with me, Fabz.
Gibbs.
Liverpool fan for life.
Well, we are recording this on the back of a Europa League final result, so we know what the result is. Sadly, we didn't get what we wanted, but yeah, so we are here to recap about what went through. So probably we start off with you, Gabs.
Yeah.
So you purposely took a time to went to watch the game, right? Talk us through your memories.
Yes, I watched the whole game and I was so angry and pissed. Really frustrated, honestly. United fans are watching here. Believe me, I'm as frustrated as you, if not more. It was one of the most painful nights being a United supporter. This was one game we couldn't afford to lose and we lost it. The stake was so high. We did everything we could to reach the final and finally we just blew it off. We just gave Tottenham a trophy, just like that. I don't want to blame Onana because I feel the whole team did not contribute. You could have still come back and won 3 or 4-1, but we just wasted and squandered every chances. Bad selection of players, really. I mean, what do you think of Amorim putting Bruno Fernandes in a holding position with Casemiro?
Let's just go back, building back to the game, knowing that United and Spurs have a lot to win rather than losing it. So right, Spurs was actually on the 16th and United was on the 17th place in the league.
No, it's actually United was 16.
16 and 17 each. So basically, it's the two worst clubs in England going for Europe's best. So what I felt like Amorim had all his eggs in his one basket. So I thought that he could have went all out for it, but I was quite amazed when I look at the formation. The first thing that I saw was Mason Mount starting. It was a bit off for me. What do you think?
Yes, definitely. Now looking back, it was a selection that backfired. In his interview, Amorim clearly said that the selection for Mason Mount was basically given his performance in the semi-finals, where he came in as a sub and did change the game. But that doesn't justify because he has been injured throughout the season most of the time. Garnacho has been starting for us mostly on the left side of the wing. I felt Mason Mount would have made an impact if he was brought in as a sub, not as a starting level. And we lacked so much on the left side. Mason Mount didn't really do much. Garnacho just came in for 20 minutes and he almost scored. The keeper was forced into a fine save. And really, I think it really backfired terribly. And one more player I felt that was supposed to play was actually Kobe Menu. Or even Manuel Ugarte in the midfield with Casemiro. Casemiro was just left to defend by himself. Bruno Fernandes, we all know that he's not his position at all, center midfield. He was wasted from playing up and contributing to the strikers and dictating the game. He had to sit down and defend. So it backfired terribly. I think it looks like United have now become a team that cannot beat any teams in the Premier League. The
But
Premier League form carries on.
do you think Amorim underestimated Spurs? Because actually, if you look in the league season, Spurs beat United all the games. They beat them. They in Old Trafford, so they played bad, but they played a different style in the final. They played a completely defensive, like a Jose Mourinho kind of style, which is going against Ange philosophy a little bit, just to win. Do you think Man United or Amorim didn't expect that because they would have expected a more attacking Spurs, which would have given more space for the likes of Mason Mount to be more of a threat? Because I think only in the second half, really, they had. First half they had a few chances, but second half mainly they were like peppering the goal, like throwing balls into the box. And so I felt, for me, looking from far, I felt like Amorim underestimated Spurs a little bit.
Yes, I agree with you.
I think when Amorim sets up his formation, he was more to not losing the game than winning the game.
Yes, true.
Because I look at it, because he didn't build the formation to the club's strengths. He built the formation based on how to combat Tottenham's attack and everything. Because I think also comes back again the fear of losing. I think he has a very big fear of losing. That the 100 million pounds was at stake. So I think it's a very big thing for him. So he felt it's better not to lose or lose big, because they always lose 4-0 or 3-0.
Really, I actually don't think so though. I think because I felt like Spurs, in a way, their manager and the history of not winning, pressure was more on them. Because United, even though they've
Exactly.
been bad, they know how to win finals. Whereas Spurs, they rarely get into final, and if we get into final, they usually lose also. So I feel like Ange had to break that sort of mentality, whereas Amorim is riding on that mentality. That is a winning mentality.
How did he broke the thing up, bro? By saying that he always wins in the second.
Yeah, man, that becomes like a generational
became
quote
a-
already. People are
He
talking
became a
about
troll,
that,
bro.
that
Actually-
generational quote, man.
No, actually, Amorim, I wouldn't want to. Okay, put it this way: Amorim played a 3-4-3. I think he just chose the best, what he thought he could win us the game, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out.
Can you talk about the formation? Okay, so I know the formation was a bit weird because Shaw hasn't played for a long time. And
Yes.
why is he playing when I think Euro was supposed to be more of the left centre back rather than
Yeah, exactly.
the right or middle? So, what would have been your preferred starting 11 versus what was the starting 11?
Frankly, I believe Amorim went for experience. It's too obvious. Why Shaw and Mason Mount started, despite being injured most of the season, is because of their experience in big games. That's the reason why they were
So
chosen.
Shaw partnered Maguire, right?
Yes.
And
He almost got the equalizer though.
And Euro was on the right side. Fernandes and Casemiro center. Patrick was on the left.
Who's
Dorgu.
Patrick? Huh?
Patrick,
Oh,
Dorgu,
Patrick,
yeah.
oh.
And of course, Mazraoui was on the right. But I really felt they should have played maybe a 3-5-2 or something else because it really didn't work at all. Mason Mount just wasted everything. Patrick also was not contributing much. And Shaw, I think he was being run all over the place.
He's
Spurs-
not fit, lah. He's not fit. And
I mean, his choice was basically made because of experience. Amorim didn't want to gamble on youngsters. Ten Hag, on the other hand, he played Meno,
I
Garnacho
was
in the final.
shocked when I found out Meno didn't start. Ugarte and Casemiro felt like a good combination
Yeah, it
because
was.
Ugarte can run. Casemiro has the experience.
And Mino can hold the ball anyway, bro. He's a very good outlet to hold the ball, pass the ball.
He
the
can
right
even
place.
play a false 9.
No, but the thing is with Mino is he doesn't lose the ball easily. So when you pass the ball to him, he knows to actually pass it back at a different
Yeah.
place.
And he had
He's a
so
very
many
good outlet.
moments.
Yeah. And then the best part was I'm quite amazed. Why is Luke Shaw playing at left centre back or the back three? I mean, I understand that you already have Patrick Dorgu. You can actually put him a bit more on top because he's more on the attacking side. And I'm seriously very angry because of one thing. I really don't understand why Amorim had to finally decided to tweak the formation at the very wrong time. I really don't understand because
So that
he
means
already-
the formation before this was what?
he already had Lenny Euro playing on the left. On the right, he had, center is always Maguire, and on the right is either I think Mazraoui also will be playing on the
So
right.
three at the back,
Yeah,
and then the wing backs is Dogu and
either Dogu and Dalot or maybe Mazraoui will play on the right as well and put in another center back.
Actually, he could have dropped Dogu and put Shaw instead on the left wing because
No, actually, easily Shaw can play on the left wing back.
Yeah, not
right
on the left.
Right
down.
wing back would be Dorgu already. Simple as that. Because Shaw has played that position in England. Remember the final?
Correct.
Yeah, so it's a natural fit for him, and also if you put him so close to goal, with his lack of fitness and his know-how, and secondly, he's also a glass.
Yeah.
So that's another problem.
And Garnacho, what
Altogether.
a waste. Garnacho could have turned the game from the first minute itself. I mean, yes, Amorim used the excuse in an interview that Garnacho missed a chance against Athletic Bilbao in the first leg of the semi-finals. But you can't use that to justify why a player who's been performing throughout the season, at least Garnacho has been contributing in assists in many other ways. To just drop him, even Garnacho posted on social media, his brother posted, and hammered Amorim a little bit.
so who replaced Garnacho?
Mason Mount.
Mason Mount. So he opted for a more defensive setup against Tottenham. It backfired, and Tottenham was missing their key players. Son was not playing. James Maddison
He was there
out.
for a taking, bro.
It was there for a
Seriously.
taking. They were just roasted by Liverpool 5-1 recently,
Was
and
just
we
there.
can't even score a single goal against Tottenham.
Yeah, their keeper even made a mistake. Then Van der Ven cleared off the
Yes.
line, right?
Of course,
Yeah,
I mean
because
yeah,
that was
should have
actually a
gone.
shocking mistake by the keeper. He made a mistake and cleared off
That
the
should have
line.
gone in like
You see, the problem with Amorim is, shocking truth, let me just tell you this. The problem with Amorim is he's very stick to his formation. He wants his desired formation wherever he goes. That's the reason why he didn't want to come in mid-season, because he know that he's going to set up for failure.
And that's why Liverpool didn't get him.
Yeah, that's the
Because
thing.
he wants to bring his system, implement it. He doesn't care
Exactly
what players are there at his disposal to be able to play that. He just wants his system. It's a lot of ego, I feel, because even after the match, I saw some of the quotes. He was saying that no matter what, I will never change my system.
exactly.
It feels a bit stupid because if Ange Postecoglou is a completely attacking manager, he knows the importance of that game can change just to get over the line.
Yeah.
Surprising, Amorim didn't have that like awareness. Like, hey, I know I have my style, but I need to be able to adapt and tweak.
But actually, to be honest,
on the
bro,
opponent.
let me tell you one thing. Like, you see, Casemiro, the amount of barrage he's getting, right? Actually, I really pity him, because he's a very decorated player. He's a winner in all the competitions and all. But look at him. Because of the formation that they have now, he's become a laughing joke now, laughing stock, bro. Now,
Yeah.
and it's not to say it's not because of him. It's because of the formation.
But I'm
itself.
surprised because Ruben Amorim is a young manager.
Yeah.
Casemiro has experience. Bruno has experience. Don't you think those leaders in the dressing room would be able to, talk to the manager and tell them like,
That's another thing, lah.
I feel
Because
that
they don't
now
have
it's
the
like-
link. Because I still remember last time in Chelsea, right? They have like a core leadership team.
yeah,
John Terry and
Players
Frank
union,
Lampard.
bro.
They'll just go. They don't care what the hell is it.
Yeah.
They just go to the manager and then start. Hey, this is not working and all. And
because
they
they
have to-
know the club maybe
precisely, yeah.
better. They have it in their DNA a little bit better. There's pros and cons to that. But I feel because I make a comparison to Slot. So one of the things Slot did when he first came in was the players that were coming back early from international break or whatever holiday were like the Robertsons, some of the key leaders. He was actually having conversations with them of how things are done in the club just to understand.
Yeah.
And Salah in a recent interview even said that when Slot came in, it was very hard. Why was it hard? Slot actually showed videos to Salah of how he was coming to the training pitch to warm up. It was like that. And all the players behind him followed his demeanor. So he told him, you're like the role model here. You need to bring the energy to training for other players to follow you. So for me, I feel like Slot understood a little bit, try to understand the key players, who he needs to grab a hold of, who to get on his side.
Actually, today I was watching a game. Actually, Fernandes many times showed his frustration. He was getting very frustrated. And that's in a final. So it wasn't very good. He was like slowly going back to his old self.
We talked about it, yeah.
Yeah. So this is a bit not so good. This is a time where as a captain, you're supposed to push your team up and don't show your frustrations in a final some more. Maybe it cost us a bit.
And I mean, for me, when I look at United, I see Casemiro, Maguire. These are the ones that need
Leadership,
to be,
right?
the core leadership, because Maguire has come through lots of terrible
Ups and
things
downs,
and he's come out on the right side. So I feel like he's earned that right to be in the leadership team. But yeah, I think you're right about a captain's performance in finals, right? Because even the FA Cup final, the Man City lost, right? People were comparing De Bruyne to Gerrard, They're saying
Yep.
De Bruyne is better. But look in the final, where was he when the Man City needed him? Because Gerrard is the kind of player that will turn up in the big games, in the finals, right? And United had those players like Rooney, Ronaldo that would turn up in the big games. And Bruno cannot be the only guy that turns up for you guys all the time.
Yeah, true.
He's like, I think he's probably United's player of the season. It's like, it's a bit unfair on him, them to expect in the final or so, for him to be the one that turns it around.
The thing is, he's carrying the club, but the thing is, at the same time, he's also a club captain. That's the problem with him. There's too much on his plate, and of course, he's a natural player who can create chances out of nowhere and everything. So that really burdens him, So for him, just to, let's say, he just make a long through ball or something, and it didn't work, and then you know what people will say? You as a captain, you should be more responsible. But he's trying to be talented. He's trying to do something out of the box. So that's the thing. That's what
He has to do that. Well, that's his job description. He needs to try to penetrate the lines.
correct.
So sometimes it's not going to work out. And to be fair, United don't have attackers that are going to get his balls anyway. Imagine Salah playing for United. Even Bruno Fernandes is in the team. Can you imagine the ball Salah will be getting? It'll be like next level.
I agree. Even I think Haaland can score more goals also.
Yeah.
True.
So I mean, yeah, Gibbs, you wanted to share a little bit about Amorim
Yeah.
side.
So now we shall look into what lies ahead now for United. So this is the painful part because I think this is one of the darkest days of our history in the history of our club. Since post select Ferguson, we are 16th in the table, no European football next season, no Champions League, and 2 seasons in a row for the first time, no Champions League
For the first time in history.
in our history
No Champions League?
since 1992.
No Champions League or no European competition.
No Champions League, 2 seasons in a row.
Do you think United players will, because even Bruno Fernandes came up with a weird statement like a bit like Amorim, where he said like, you know, if they think they need to move certain players on, like that's how it is. It's like he's trying to say like he has no control whether he stays or goes.
I don't think Fernandes will be asked to leave, but I believe players like Garnacho and Menu, they could be for the cut. And of course, those
But really, Menu is like for the future, right?
at one point of time, there was also rumors of him going to leave.
Actually, Mino is actually negotiating a new contract. So I think that
We hope, fingers crossed. Yes.
Yeah, we hope that he could sign a new contract. But the thing is, there's also another caveat thing on it, lah. I think I think that they're asking for more, lah, I believe, or
And
something like that.
He's how old again, Menu?
No,
Still
20.
20s only, bro.
Now the thing is, the biggest problem is going to be right now is we don't have Champions League next year, no Europa League next year. So many players might not be motivated to stay with us. They will want to look for clubs that are playing for Champions League.
I tell you what, right, if you ask me, it's a blessing in disguise. You know why? This season, we've never respected the league, the way we play and where we are.
You're right.
So this is actually a slap on the face of for all.
Yeah, because the
United
last episode we covered about the bread and butter is the league, right?
exactly.
And you're not always going to be able to win the league or finish high up the table. But United's performances, including Spurs, even West Ham, surprisingly, they were so bad in the league.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a bit, you're right, the word like disrespecting the league, like writing it off so early just because you cannot win.
Exactly. And then just now I was telling you as well, right, Gabz? Even though Mourinho won the Europa League and they were, what position they were at the time? 6th, right? Although they were out of the European competition and they were in need of winning the cup. But the thing is, if you ask me, any cup final is just 50-50. It's either you win or you lose. So when you lose, you go back and what is your achievement? You go finish 16th in the league, is it? That's not the right thing.
Yeah, they put all eggs into one basket, Spurs and United.
Yes.
So if it's a 50-50,
If it was Jose Mourinho, maybe he can put all eggs in a basket. He has that pedigree in finals. But Amorim just backfired. Just backfired.
I mean, I agree with Fabz on the blessing in disguise because I think Liverpool have been in your position before where we have been out of Europe, and sometimes it's the slap in the face that we need to like realize that, okay, we think we're that good, and also you'll see how many players actually really want to be at United.
Okay, let me just talk about this. If let's say we don't have European competition, then we really see who are the real players United have. I just give you a very simple example. When Juventus got relegated because of the match fixing and everything, right? If you notice, Gigi Buffon, Alexandro Del Piero all stayed on, although they are loyal to the club and all whatsoever, but they decided to stay on when they got big money moves out of it because they wanted to put the club in the right
They just
place.
won the World Cup,
Yeah, exactly.
Crazy.
So that's the thing. It's good. It's also shows now who wants to really stay in the club, who wants to really go. So it's whoever it is.
Which
it's
brings
fine.
us back to the point, loyalties will be tested.
Yeah, it's good. Because
Yeah.
like I mentioned before also, like United, it's okay if you don't buy any players. You just use all the youth academy players also is fine. As long as you build a core, when you build a core, from there you can build good leadership. Then you know where you want to go.
And
The
now,
thing is, United is all in shambles actually. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
and now what you say is very true. And one thing I want to point out is, add on to this, we disrespected the league. And now, for next season, the only way to qualify for Champions League is through the league. So that means we cannot afford to finish below top 5 if you want to go to Champions League. Now, this brings me back to the time of David Moyes. David Moyes finished 7th in 2013 and he was sacked. Louis van Gaal came in, and the season when Louis van Gaal came in after the World Cup, United did not have European football at the time at all. No Europa League, no Champions League, and Van Gaal was able to focus on the league fully. Turns out that same season we ended up finishing 4th in the league and also winning the FA Cup. So it could be a blessing in disguise if Amorim was to take the league seriously and buy the right players and start performing, yes.
So there is hope.
No, he won the FA Cup the following season.
Oh yeah, you're right, sorry. He finished 4th in the league. Yes.
And then the following season he won the FA Cup.
Correct. And he got sacked. Yes, correct.
Yeah, but if actually United perform in the league this coming season, for me the big question is why weren't you able to do that last season? Because that tells me that your manager has told you, or your manager has completely shifted your focus to the Europa League and thrown away the league. Because for me it doesn't make sense. United have a big squad. You should be able to play 2 games a week and still figure things out. And you cannot tell me that everything is down to the tactics of the manager to be able to win a game. There's certain things, there's a certain point of pride that players need to take to be able to win. Look at the Lyon game. I don't think that is a managerial masterclass.
Yes,
I think it's the players on the pitch that actually wanted to go all out.
Now there's no European football. So we get to see the true characters of all the players. Whether who wants to stay, who wants to go.
Yeah, United fans, one thing you're watching this, I want to tell you all that next season we have very little games to watch. We only have the league to watch. And the cup competitions only start. FA Cup is in January. The League Cup is once, for me, from September, 1 month once. So we have so little games to watch. Which means
you can start.
You watch Liverpool games, huh?
Which means you can start bantering Liverpool, huh?
we can just look forward to Liverpool losing and start bantering them.
Okay, quick predictions for United next season. Where do they finish? And
Champions.
what do they do? Fabz.
If you ask me, if everyone buckle up and play well because they don't have European competition, they can go top 6.
Top 6.
Yeah.
You?
But it's subjective.
I would say they'll be in the top 5. With a proper summer clear out, with a proper players coming in, proper training season, pre-season. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, they will win 1 cup this coming season. The Asian Cup.
It's a cup competition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Maybank Challenge Cup. See, I'm sponsoring Maybank here.
There's nothing guaranteed with United, huh? Don't jinx, don't jinx, bro. If they lose next week, I know who to find.